Even early on, I remember conversations that Heather and I would have that she had told me pretty early on that she, for some reason, wanted to adopt. And I remember distinctly she talked about, hey, I want to adopt siblings, because it seems like those are the kids that kind of get lost in the system, they get forgotten about. It was maybe a couple years after Lainey was born that we said, okay, we're ready now, and we started looking at the possibility of adoption. And for whatever reason, every road we would go down, there would be doors slammed in our face, and we could not really get any traction anywhere. And so we made the decision that we were gonna move on. And really years had passed, and my stepmom was sharing about these children, and she said it's such a sad story. These 4 boys, they've been in foster care for 3 years. They're probably gonna have to split them up because, you know, who's gonna adopt 4 kids? 4 boys, especially at that age. And we were sitting on opposite ends of the table, and Heather and I looked up without making eye contact, and we just simultaneously said, we will. And so I remember the car ride home, we were just sitting there thinking, what are we thinking? This is crazy. You know, we live in a 3-bedroom house where life is good. And it was weird because as scary as it was, we had just an immense peace about it. Like, this is what we were supposed to do from the beginning. And I remember the first time seeing the boys, it was this overwhelming feeling, like the same time when I saw my girls in that labor and delivery room, that as a father, it was even more difficult to explain because mothers carry their children. But seeing them, I had that same love for them immediately. And I said, okay, well, these are our kids. Angel is the oldest of the boys, he's 10. But he's very determined, he's a strong-willed kid. And Brian is the second oldest of the boys, and Brian's 8. He's one of the most compassionate kids we have. William is very much a dreamer. He gets just completely involved in whatever he's playing or watching. And Carlos is youngest, he's 5. We call him King Carlos because he thinks he rules the house. Shelby she has always been mature for her years. We always pick on her, call her an old soul. She called our previous 15-passenger van social suicide. Our second child, Lainey, could not be more different than Shelby. You give her a sketch pad and a pencil and you won't hear a word from her for hours. Going through the process, there were lots of times that we thought about giving up, saying it would definitely be easier and that this is just too much. And I think that some of the dark days come when you do have that realization that, okay, my kids have experienced trauma that as a grown man I'll never know. And I think that, again, that's where our faith comes into play a lot, that God put these kids in front of us for a reason. And that's why we have to push each other through. So we affectionately call our family the Crazy 8, and it's very fitting because our family is absolutely crazy.